Peace and greetings. Peace and greetings to those of you who are catching this as the recording. Thank you guys for joining me. Just want to give a bit of insight on the tragic transition of Nipsey. So give me a couple of, I'll say like a few, seconds, a minute or so to allow others to see that I've gone live. So I'm setting up. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys. Peace and greetings, everyone. Peace and greetings. I just like to give a little bit of time for people to see that I've gone live so I don't have to keep repeating myself or start from the beginning. But I appreciate you guys who are on right now. Turn this light down. Hey everyone. Greetings, greetings, greetings. We are in such a divine time on planet Earth right now for what we are witnessing on Earth. Just a very, very intense time. Just even being able to witness the death of a Messiah is a big deal. Not everyone gets a chance to witness that. And I just want to talk about what that really means for us as beings, as human beings, and what we could do with this, I want to give my spiritual perspective of it. Peace and greetings. Hey, Kalelu. What's up, fam? Oh, thank you, Joy, for the compliment. I appreciate that. Hey, Kelvin. Greetings, Edwina. Peace. Hey, Marvin. Carol Mosley. Latasha. Danielle, my girl. Hey, beautiful. Danielle Lovelight is the one that even pointed out the fact that the red and the blue coming together makes purple. And I said that at Nipsey's memorial. Thanks for shedding that light. And I touched on the fact that red and blue makes purple. That's what she said. And red and blue making purple. Purple is royalty. It's a color of royalty. So now that the Crips and the Bloods are coming together, we can truly come into our royalty. That's that purple. So higher consciousness, crown chakra consciousness, So, you've been, I've been wanting to, speak on this, but I definitely didn't want to just jump and speak on this particular topic to, just get views or likes or anything like that, But I definitely wanted to wait for that divine message to, come into me before I give my dissertation of this event that we are all experiencing, Absolutely. So nevertheless, you guys, I'm going to just get right into what I want to share with you all. These glasses keep sliding down my face. I'm going to just take them off. I don't have my contacts on. So if I'm looking like this, it's because it's hard for me to see y'all. Nevertheless, when it comes to this, tragedy of Nipsey, it's really intense for myself, just, with the events leading up, how things were, working out in my personal reality. And I know that we all have our personal, connection and story of where we were when we heard of this tragedy. So I'm gonna just share a bit of mine just to give my stance on it. It was definitely a lot of unexpected things that took place in my life at that time, because Queen Afua had just had her retreat the weekend before, and Lauren London was there, and, you know, my best friend was working the retreat, and, you know, we heard about Lauren London becoming a sacred woman, and, you know, Nipsey had just even spoke and mentioned Queen Afua's book in the interview with him and Lauren, you know, talking about their relationship. And then, you know, a few days after the retreat, you know, I was called to pick up Queen Afua, and, you know, she ended up staying at my house for a few days. So while she was here at my home, I had to pick her up after she, you know, spoke with Lauren or what have you. And we were discussing me bringing her back out there to meet with them or speak with them or what have you. And it was intense because while we were having that discussion, we got the phone call that he was shot. At that time, we didn't know the state of his existence at that particular time, but 30 minutes later we got the call that confirmed that he did not make it through the incident. And that was very, very trying for us. Queen and I were just standing there looking at each other like, whoa, like, so what are we were planning to do something tomorrow, but what are we going to do now? This is very deep, you know? And so, and with her being a healer and being a world-renowned healer, and me being a young woman healer coming up in this world, as a leader, as a healer, as a teacher, you know, as an astrologer, it was just, it felt like an initiation. Because Queen Afua has never even been to my home before. You know, I definitely honored her at Return of the Gods last year. But how this whole situation lined up was intense. And I was actually conceived on Easter Sunday in the year 1986, which fell on March the 30th. So Queen and I were speaking about that. She did a divine healing on me and just really opened my eyes. And I'm like, you know, this is the day that I was conceived. You know, this is like a rebirthing experience for myself. And to, you know, the following day for him to be murdered, it was really intense for the both of us. And I wasn't looking at astrology this week. And I know that if I would have really been looking at the transits that were happening in the week, I would have predicted that we would be hearing about the transition of a celebrity, because it was written in the stars. You know, there was Pluto in alignment to Pluto, Saturn in the South Node. And I did touch on it a bit, but I didn't touch on things from a physical perspective. I just touched on things from a spiritual perspective. But it was divine, because no one was supposed to actually predict this occurrence. It was supposed to happen exactly in the way that it did, you know. And the way that it happened really shook us all up, you know. And before I really get on the message part that I received from Spirit, I just want to say that back in 2006, when the movie ATL came out, I was telling my sisters this, that I had always felt something strange, some type of a travesty happening in the life of Lauren London. And I didn't know why, but I do predict death, and I do predict birth, and I do see, you know, other events. And I didn't know what it was that I felt from watching that movie, but it just brought up these strange feelings within me where I felt like there was going to be a major travesty in her life for some reason. And later on, after I had that conversation with my sisters, my older sister, Sharina, sent me a meme that said that the movie ATL came out on March the 31st, 2006. So that movie was released the day that Nipsey was murdered. So that was really intense for myself to, you know, relate that, and, you know, and for that to have happened. And that movie ATL, what it was all about, you know, a young dude who was kind of a thug doing his thing or what have you, but he was also trying to better the community. I think that we should all watch that movie and get greater insight. I haven't watched it again, so I don't remember all the details of the movie. But nevertheless, Nipsey Hussle was and indeed is a Messiah being. Now, what does it mean to actually be a Messiah being? A Messiah being is a messenger of the times that you are in. That's simply, there are many Messiahs on planet Earth right now. I am a Messiah being as well. And there are many, many others. I actually see everyone being a Messiah within their own reality. There are certain Messiahs that are Messiah beings over communities or that are over nations, you know. And Nipsey was definitely a high regard Messiah being. And what makes him a Messiah being is the fact that he woke up a nation of people with his life and with his transition. His death is so symbolic for all of us. And it's just deep, that the fact that, you know, he passed away at the age of 33. And not saying that Messiahs all have to go at the age of 33 like Jesus Christ or anything like that. But that age is still a master number, and it is still very significant. And at first I was feeling like, you know, oh, you know, Nipsey, you woke up the streets. You woke up the streets. You got the Bloods and the Crips to come together. You know, brought together the red and the blue. That makes purple. We're aligned with our royalty. But when I went to his memorial yesterday, I realized he didn't just wake up, you know, the gangs. Because he really brought the healers, the conscious people, the awakened, the enlightened, the gang members, the prostitutes, the Hispanics. He brought together all people, celebrities, you know what I'm saying? The vagabonds, you know, the people that just walk the streets. He brought all the different nations together. It didn't matter what spirituality you practice. Everyone came together and is coming together. And that's what makes him a Messiah. He came with a message and he lived out his life path and purpose. The night before he transitioned, when I was speaking with Queen, she and I, we headed off to Trader Joe's to grab some snacks after we did our live video. And I was saying to her that my mission in life, one of my missions in life, is to help everyone to align to their truth, their highest truth of this reality, their life path and purpose, that when they leave this plane, their heart is lighter than a feather. And what I mean by that is that you pour out so much of yourself and you are so divinely aligned with your life path and purpose that when you leave here, you're not holding anything back. You don't have any regrets. You know that you've done your job because that's what we're here to do. We're here to live out our life path and purpose. And that's exactly what Nipsey Hussle did. And I know that his transitioning, his death, his murder is a travesty, but it definitely his life is not held in vain. His mother went to Christ Unity Center yesterday and let the congregation know that the police actually paid the guy that murdered him, paid him money to do the killing. And that happened the day before he was supposed to meet with the LAPD, which is funny because he was supposed to meet with the LAPD on April the 1st, which is April Fool's Day. So that was a joke, right? Gang violence keeps their pockets growing, you know. And I had felt that initially. As soon as I heard about it, I felt that there was something else, you know, for why this had happened. But it's so funny because what they did, it backfired on them. Because understand that saying that we don't die, we multiply is a really true saying. It's a very true statement. It's not a joke. We don't die, we multiply. The same way and I'm going to explain this a little bit deeper. Before Dr. Sebi passed away, you had a lot of people learning about his techniques and getting treated by him and taking his products and healing themselves. But when Dr. Sebi passed away, everybody became Dr. Sebi because we're just light frequency. All we are vibration and light. So when we pass away from this realm, that light is no longer just contained in these vessels and these bodies. That light is now dispersed, you know, and is delivered and is receivable by everyone because we're just light, and light can transcend time and space and matter. And so when Dr. Sebi passed away, we all became Dr. Sebi We all are knowing about the green juicing and, you know, eating the right things and not having mucus in your, not eating mucus developing foods. You know, we all are aware of these things now because and many of us didn't even read his books or get direct treatment from him. But his energy went into the sun, went into the stars, and is now being dispersed onto us. Consciousness is light energy. This is why even when you type in idea, when you're sending off a text message, a light bulb shows up. A light bulb pops up. That's the emoji for an idea, for consciousness, for, you know, intelligence. Because intelligence and consciousness is light. You took this man out of his body and now all he is light. Now all he is consciousness, and now that consciousness is in all of us. Nipsey Hussle strictly lived his life for his purpose on planet Earth. The best thing that man did was release his energy unto all of us, and now we are all living out his purpose. Now we're all thinking about equity and buying up the block. The gangs they've come together. The LAPD paying off somebody from your own hood, you know, to do the murder. That was kind of stupid, yo, because there's no gang beef behind it because it was somebody from his own hood. I'm so grateful that they didn't pay like a blood to do it. And then that would have caused a huge riot and gang war. But that also shone a light on us all to realize that our problems are not coming from other people. It's not coming from our oppressors. Our problems are right here with us, within our own neighborhoods, within our own beingness. Even when it comes to this spirituality and this conscious reality, we know that everything that's on the outside, reflected on the outside within our realities, is a reflection of what's going on within. And now it's time for us to extend that, not just from the individual, but also within the community. Problems within the community or that are happening from the outside of the community, you know, the oppressors doing what they're doing is because we are broken as a people. For somebody to be able to pay you any amount of money to slay a brother or a sister is ridiculous. Okay, it shows that there's a huge problem, a huge lack of self-love and worth for yourself. And especially a brother that was making so much great change within our world. But little man who did it, you have no idea, it did not work. You may have slain Nipsey from his body, but you woke him up in millions of people. You can't kill us all. What you gonna do now, bruh? What you gonna do now? You better hope that you stay in solitary confinement, because if you even go into the other population, somebody gonna get you there. And then if you get released, someone will get you there. And I'm not promoting any type of a violence. I'm just saying the things that happen. And you're not a light being. So your light, your energy isn't going to be dispersed into everyone like Nipsey's is. I actually, and I'm going to be open and honest, I was not a fan of Nipsey. I respected Nipsey, but I barely listened to rap music myself. I listened to a lot of trip hop music, but I respected what he was doing. I respected what he was bringing forth to the table with educating people about Dr. Sebi. I loved that. I'm like, yeah, do that. That's what you do. You feel me? But now... Now I'm hip to his stuff, his music, and you know what I'm saying? And all you did was promote who he was even greater. Put him at a greater level. You just promoted him, you know. That's what haters really do. When they're hating on you and they talking mess and they're jealous or they're copying you, all you're doing is furthering promoting who that person is. So, fail. That was a fail, yo. That was a fail. Nevertheless, I just want to share this, and I've shared it before, and you guys can check out my video on YouTube called Light. My YouTube channel is called Kateria Manning. And in that video, I talk about how our hearts are weighed on the scales of Ma'at to be weighed lighter than a feather. because our heart is the physical representation of our soul. It's the physical representation of our soul. And in the English language, we separate light as far as in weight. We separate light as far as enlightenment. And we separate light as far as in light in the sky. But your heart or your soul is weighed on the scales of Ma'at to be lighter than a feather, because if it's too dense, it's not light enough to shoot off at 1,000,000 light years away to dwell among the light of the universe, to become a star. That's what life is about. It's about graduating to new life forms and new bodily forms. And that's what Nipsey did with his reality. He has ascended, truly ascended. He even, prophesized this too, if you listen to a lot of his music and things that he was speaking, and his word is out there a lot more. He spoke about, if they get me, y'all got my back, right? We got your heart, yo. We don't just got your back. We got your heart. We all coming together, everybody. You got so many people in the streets now looking for healing, looking for enlightenment. Now Queen Afua is here on the West Coast, expanding on this side of the world. And we need her. We need to become sacred women. We need to know how to heal our wombs, heal our minds, heal our bodies, heal our spirits. And she's also going to have a program for men, for them to, like how she has a sacred woman healing program. She's going to have one for men so they can also, man, heal thyself as well. And Nipsey's, transitioning, it was almost like a sacrifice, but I don't like to utilize that word. But he's waking everybody up to the divine way of life, divine consumption. We're going to see so many vegan restaurants. We're going to see so many black business owners, so many black neighborhoods in high class suburb neighborhoods. We're going to see more of that now because of what happened with Nipsey. Because he was such a light, and now his light is no longer trapped by his physical vessel, is dispersed everywhere. And so now everyone is knowing what to do with their money. Everyone is aware that they need to own, ownership, and owning things. And what's interesting is that his North Node was in the sign of Taurus, which rules money and which rules ownership. And that's what he left us with, owning his own music, So I just want everyone to, I feel, and I said this before he passed away, I was telling my sisters, I feel that as human beings, we don't process death properly. I feel that we are very weak when it comes to the understanding of death. And don't get me wrong, death is difficult and is hard and is harsh to experience and go through the death of a loved one, or even facing your own, demise. But we all will face our own demise eventually, but yet and still, we need to see it in a whole nother light, in a whole nother perspective, so that we could get through it more easier and happier and feeling more fulfilled. The greatest way to transition peacefully, as Nipsey actually did, per words of his mother, she says she's never seen her son in so much peace when she saw his face after he was transitioned. When you live your true life purpose and you pour everything out, you don't hold anything back. When your day has come, you can just relax and say, all right, y'all, I had a good time. It's been a pleasure. Much love and light to you, and you. May you carry on your journey. It's time for me to leave planet Earth. I'm about to check out some new things. And just, you can go on. That's why Nipsey is able to go on. I've been seeing so many different signs and symbols and numbers. I'm seeing 444 a lot, and I saw this sign today that said he has risen. And just seeing the impact that he had in so many people's lives and seeing how his death is impacting people even more. Such a Messiah being. If you're in Los Angeles, it doesn't matter where you are in Los Angeles, everyone is playing Nipsey Hussle's music everywhere. Everybody's getting his information. I mean, you cannot escape it. You're just Nipsey, Nipsey, Nipsey. There's so much traffic out there. It's intense. You know, it's divine. Even Reverend Michael Beckwith at Agape Center yesterday spoke about Nipsey and had a picture up, and, you know, we cried. I cried, you know, to release. It's healthy to release. If you haven't cried about it, you want to, just so you can release that energy, release those feelings that you may have. It's healthy for you, but you should still, you know, celebrate at the same time. Like, wow, you did what you came here to do. That's what I hope to do. I hope to come here and do what I came here to do. And when it's time for me to leave, I'm going to be like, okay, well, I did what I, you know, intended and set out off to do, you know. So I really just wanted to share that. And another thing is that I spoke to my friend Keenan Chapman, the artist. He painted a very beautiful mural of Nipsey Hussle out there in Atlanta. And he'll be out here in a couple of weeks holding a smoke and paint session. And he tattooed Nipsey Hussle more than a few times. And, you know, I was just sending love and light. I knew you were close to him, you know, just sending you love and light. He was like, yeah, you know, fam, well, I'm recognizing a lot about the situation. And he said it was divine because Nipsey's whole theme was the marathon. But this last album was called The Victory Lap. This was a victory indeed because he lived out his purpose. There were just different events energetically that was showing that he was leading up to this. Even Lauren London, you know, going to Queen Afua's healing retreat. She's being healed and restored and coming into her spirituality and consciousness. You know, elevation, transformation, ascension is upon us all. And the Great Awakening is accelerating now. The speed of the quickening and the awakening process is accelerating. This is a victory. This is a great victory to celebrate. The fact that his funeral is going to be held at the Staples Center, and the Staples Center's address is 111. It's 1111. So symbolic. So symbolic. The Great Awakening is truly here. He even had the word prolific tatted on his face. He let us know. And he was a Leo, April 15th, like Imnan Uzan. A Leo, the sun child. You know, definitely a being, a ray of the sun. He shall and will be celebrated. His transitioning is like the most significant passing of any celebrity that I've seen thus far in my reality. The most significant because of the impact that he made and what he was doing and being a real life gangster. You feel me? Because the whole gang reality has impacted us all so much in our lives. We needed a gang banging Messiah to wake up the streets. We need messiahs in every field to wake it up, you know, and that's what he was. And he brought us together where we're not judging each other. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dang, we only have so much time on earth. Like, let's love. We don't know when we're going to go. Let's love. Become light in our heart. Live out your mission and become light in your heart and own your work. Become smarter with your money. You know, Nipsey taught us a lot and is continuing to teach us a lot. He's there. He's everywhere now. Now he's not just bound to his neighborhood. Now he's everywhere. Everywhere. How divine. I'm grateful for enlightenment. I'm grateful for the clarity. I'm grateful for the peace. I'm not going to act like this isn't a tough transition to a process. It is, as they tend to be. But I want us to really look at and activate the Nipsey within us all. That's what it's about. It's about activating that Nipsey within us all. And I even told some friends that if he transitioned like as an elder, I don't feel that his life would have made as much as of an impact. And he was about impacting people. He made a huge impact. In his transition, he made a huge impact. You know, if he would have lived to 90, he would have just, you know, kind of, come on, we got to wake up. Y'all got to wake up. Y'all got to wake up. With him leaving and becoming the sun, now he's waking us up. Because that's what the sun does. It wakes us up in the early day, doesn't it? Light, spirit, soul, energy, frequency, pure energy. That's what he is. And he's consciousness. And his consciousness is in us all now. Waking us up. Understand light a lot more. Like I've said before, global warming is synonymous to the spiritual, conscious, elevated awakening that's taken place on planet Earth. This is why they're spraying so many chemicals in the sky to block it and to block the starlight, because they want to block consciousness from penetrating Earth, but it's not going to happen. But they want to block it because they are aware that the light that's coming from the universe is waking us up, where they will no longer have control and we will all be free. And Nipsey has accelerated this. They're so silly. They need to study light too. The more that you kill us, the more enlightened we all become. And we never die. We only expand. They don't want to do it to me. They're going to have a problem. I'm an Aquarius too. I'll snatch all the oxygen. Oxygen will no longer work for you folk. It just won't. But, and I'm at peace with that whenever it comes, because I'm living my divine life path and purpose. I can honestly say whenever my time comes, yeah, it'll be, you know, I could deal with some pain or a little bit of anxiety. But when it's that time, I can go like, I've done my work. And people will only become more aware of the work that I've done with my leaving. I want all of us to become light in our heart. I want all of us to align with our life path and purpose and be for certain that they're doing what they're supposed to do. I feel so whole and complete and clear with myself and with my reality, with my purpose. Based on astrology and based on the other things that I've just, you know, incorporated in my life as I am evolving in this reality. And I wish all of you the same thing. Become light in your heart. Live out your life purpose. Pay attention to the life of our dear brother, the Messiah being Nipsey Hussle. Listen to his music. Get those messages. Understand the lifestyle. Understand why we need to be done with that lifestyle. You know, red and the blue, it has come together. We're now purple. We need to start rocking purple every day to accentuate, exemplify our royalty. Queen Afua oftentimes wears purple. You know, she spoke at Nipsey Hussle's memorial yesterday, and it was very divine. It's time to heal the planet. We have the feminine energy on planet Earth. You know, the Cancer North Node is here. The Great Mother is here, and it's time for that healing to begin. And we just need to activate and wake up to it. Do all that you need to do to heal yourself. Take the right herbs, drink the right water, seek counseling if you need to. Abstain from promiscuity, not sex, but just promiscuity. You know, drink plenty of water. Check your ego. Check your demons. Be real with yourself. Care for others because they're only an extension of you. Be honest, be open, be real, be purposeful in your existence. Much divine light and love to you all. Thanks for joining me. I'm checking out. Peace.